Hello everyone and welcome to Man's Life Roulette. Today we are going to discuss about how you can develop your own strategy. The basic of any strategy is that you have to cover numbers from every section of the table. You have to cover few red numbers, few black numbers, some of the even numbers, some of the odd numbers, some numbers from the first dozen, some numbers from second and third dozen, and also some numbers from all the three columns, and also few numbers from bigger and few number from smaller sections. So basically what I'm telling is you have to put your bets in such a way that you will cover few numbers from every section of the table, and the total number you cover must not be less than 50%, or at least you have to cover 18 numbers to your profit. So what you can do for that? So to cover numbers from every section, you have to put your bets like one bets over here at the second dozen, which will cover this section of the table. You have to cover put a bets over this column, which will cover this section of the table. Another bets at black number, because most of the red number are covered. You can see we have only 5 numbers left. So what we can do next is we have to put a bets over this black numbers, and it will cover all the remaining black numbers. And one more thing is that we have to put another bets at even number. It will cover a few of the red numbers also. These are 2 red numbers, and also remaining red numbers, and all these black numbers. So we have now we have 4 position: even number, black number, second dozen, and third column. So with these 4 bets, we have covered almost all types of number from the table, and the winning numbers are more than 50%, or the 18 numbers. So any number from this section are our winning numbers. So our half of the work is done because we have selected our position. So selecting the right position is quite important. And next thing is that bankroll management. So how much bankroll you need for, and what should be your unit bets. For a unit bets of $1, $200 bankroll is quite enough. And next important thing is the bets management. So what is bets management? Bets management is basically actually you react to your losses and to your profit. Sometimes you have to increase your bets just because you have to recover the losses, and also at some point of time you have to decrease the bets because you have to also minimize the risk. If you play with higher bets amount, then the risk is high. So how you can manipulate your bets or arrange your bets? Basically the amount of bets, when to increase and when to decrease, that is bets management. And the last important thing is the setting the right target. So for a bankroll of 200 and unit bets of $1, and with these 4 positions, betting with this 4 position, what should be your target? So I suggest you to have a target of at least $30 with this kind of arrangement. And finally the bets management. So bets management is quite simple. If we put our bets at this 4 position, we are not going to put here 1 unit bets because the return is different. At dozen and column, the return is 3 times of our bets, but here in even and black number it's 2 times, here it's 3 times. So we have to put our bets accordingly. And what we need to do is we have to put 2 units of bet where the return is 3 times, and 3 units of bet where the return is 2 times. So the total return is exactly the same. Here it's 6, here also it's 6. So we have to put our bets basically in the way that 2 unit over even, 2 unit over black, 3 unit over even, and 3 unit over black, and 2 unit over dozen and column. So this is the strategy you can put your bets. And what about bets management? So if you put your bets in this way, like 2 unit over here, 2 unit over column, and 3 unit at dozen even, and 3 unit at black, then the total bet size you can see is $10. So if you lose that $10, then not a problem. In the next few spin you can recover the losses. But the important thing is when to increase the bets. When you lose, suppose you have started from $200 bankroll and you lose a first $50 or 10th spin, then you have to increase the bets to another one set of bets at every position. Now the total bets will become 20. First, your bets are $10. Next step is $20, and the next step is $30. So once you recover the losses of that $50, you have to again move back to the basic bets. So this is the strategy you can develop yourself and test yourself. So some gameplay with this strategy. So this is the position I have told you earlier, and 2 unit at both the dozen and column, and play. We have started the game from a $200 bankroll, and our target is a $30, as I told you. So what we need to do is we have to continue the game until we make a profit of $30, or we reach the bankroll of $230, or we can increase the bets to another set of units when our bankroll will reduce to $150. Otherwise, we will go with the same basic 10 unit bets at all those 4 positions. So we have arranged our bets in such a way that it has cover some numbers from every section. So there is a chance that we will survive for a longer period of time, because we haven't lived in any particular section to our losses, or the casino cannot take any advantage from our arrangement. We have to continue the game in this way until we make a profit of $30 or we lose $50. Then only we will increase the bets or stop playing. If we make a profit of $30, then we will stop playing, and if we will lose $50, then we will increase the bets to recover the losses. So from every section of the table we are making some profit. We are making profits from some odd numbers, from some even numbers. Also we are making profit from third dozen, even numbers, and also at second column, second dozen. So our bets are distributed in such a way that we are making profit from every section of the table. Of course, few numbers are left for the losses, because in roulette, whatever arrangement you will make, the basic will remain the same. It's 48% for you and 52% for the house, roughly 52% for the house. So after every single spin, you are at a disadvantage of 4% over the house. And to recover all those things, you have to increase the bets whenever required. That's increasing of one setup unit will actually helps you to recover the losses over that 4% of cap the casino holds you from you. Our objective should be to make a profit of only $30 for every session, not to make a. These strategies are not going to give you a huge profit overnight, but if you apply this strategy for a longer period of time, then definitely will make a very good profit from the roulette table. You have to continue the game in this way until you make the profit or break to the losses. Again, if you lose $50, then you have to increase the bets by one more setup unit. That means the next bet should be $20 if you lose. If you are within a range of more than $150 and less than $230, then don't increase the bets or decrease the bets. Just simply rebets with the same basic bets amount and continue the game. So this kind of bets arrangement where you cover numbers from all types of numbers from all the section of the table will actually give you an advantage over the table or the house, that you can make some profit, or in other sense I can tell you that you will not lose at least. So don't go straight with red or black or bigger or smaller number. Just mix up few betting positions so that you will cover every section, every types of number from the table. It's 24. This time it's a winning number. Now you can see the bankroll over here. It's $238. We have started from $200 and our target was just $30, but actually we make a profit of $38. So this is the advantage of putting your bets in this manner, which will cover every section and every types of number.